Hello, so in this video we will be looking inside the Sinclair TV and have a quick look at its circuit board. I will apologise first. I said in the last video that these variable resistors were not listed on the service manual. It turns out that they are on page 17. My PDF reader skipped that page when I was reading back and forth. So this one here, like I didn't know what it was, is to do with the width of the screen, and this one here is to do with the width of the screen the other direction. Which is very handy to know because I had a problem that resolved. So before taking this apart, if you look at the screen, it is in 4:3 aspect ratio. If I take this off, the tube is in 16:9. This is to do with a lens on the inside, and I will come to a bit more about that in a moment. Inside the Pocket TV there has been no space spared to make it as small as possible, with the biggest item being the CRT in the middle, and there's no PCB underneath it. PCB just goes around the outside. Unlike conventional TVs, this CRT fires sideways rather than going front to back. So what would normally happen is you'd have the screen and all this circuitry here would be behind it facing you, and you'd be looking at the back of the screen and the glowing phosphor. What's happening in this TV is you're firing from here, it goes across through these plates and then bends down 90 degrees onto this. You're actually looking at the back of it, so if I tilt this up you'll see that it's not, that screen's not at the front, it's at the back. So they charge this plate at the top and the screen at the bottom to bend the beam 90 degrees down, so you can get this nice small form factor. As a result, what they did is they made it a narrow long screen so they didn't have to bend the beam as far, thus using less power. That is why they have the lens on the top here to turn it from 16:9 into 4:3, which was the standard TV signal at the time. Looking around the PCB, we have this silver box. The silver box takes the analog signal in here, decodes it out into something that the TV can understand and process. From here it goes into this chip at the back. This chip is sort of Sinclair's secret sauce, as it were. It controls so much of the TV, and it's one of the ways he managed to make it so small. So far I found out it controls the separation of the video and the audio. It controls the line scan control, the frame scan, and also has the audio amplifier circuits to send to the speakers and the headphone amp. These two controls here control parts of the chip, so this allows you to tune in the audio, fine tune as it were, and this allows you to do, from what I remember, the line hold adjust. Going across we have the on-off potentiometer with a switch in. We have the tuning variable resistor here. We have stuff underneath this to do with the audio out, so the speaker here and the headphone amp, or headphone jack and amp section there. Under here we have power in. So this, reasonably and surprisingly enough, only takes 5 volts. It takes 5 volts in. I'm running it off a 5 volt 2 amp phone charger, and it is incredibly efficient in that regard. Charger does not get hot, and as well as that I can run and power the RF modulator off the same power supply. From here it takes the 5 volts, does what it needs to do around here, but then at the top this is where the voltage multiplier is, so it takes the 5 volts and amplifies it up to about 20,000 to drive the tube. So a lot of the circuitry up this side is all to do with driving the CRT. We have more controls up here for the picture move, horizontal and vertical, the focus, and again these two are for the width of the picture adjust. So from about here all the way around, all the way up there, is all to do with driving the CRT. So it's incredible how much you managed to shrink down into this chip, and the majority of around here, for what I'm aware, is all to do with the tuning circuit and again powering the CRT and the audio. One major way he manages to do this and make it so power efficient is, rather than using electron magnets, he's using electrostatic plates inside the CRT, very similar to a oscilloscope according to the manual, so a CVO, I believe is the right term. And they claim to have one of the brightest screens at the time for the power. If I plug this in, I've already got my Raspberry Pi playing, and if I turn this light down, we have a signal. If I just move the aerial up, I have to do some work on the horizontal hold. I haven't quite got that right, but we have a picture there. So if I zoom in, I managed to fix the problems I was having in the last video. I should point out that way shimmer is just the camera. I don't see that in real life. So the two problems I was having was it wasn't quite stable. I was getting artifacts shimmering back and forth. I was getting a line down the side. I managed to go around all the pots and give them some contact cleaner. That sorted half the problem out. The rest was all power. Turns out there's a lot of oxidation on the 5 volts in, so there wasn't enough power getting into the TV and into the CRT. So giving that a clean means that I now have a working Pocket TV tube, and it's looking the best I've ever seen it, really. I still need to do some work on the contrast. It's a little bit washed out, as you can probably see from the picture. Yeah. Next stage is to figure out what is up with the audio. I have read in the manual that if you plug a headphone in and you can still hear it, then the problems are to do with the speaker. If you can't hear it, the problems to do annoyingly with that chip. So I will be investigating that next and seeing if I can't find out what's wrong. So while I know this is all over YouTube, if you wish to see updates to do with this Pocket TV and my ongoing efforts to restore it, feel free to press subscribe down below. If you like this video, feel free to press like, and if you have any knowledge of the chip inside this TV or anything to do with these TVs, feel free to comment below. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to try and answer them. Thank you for watching, until next time.